Carlos Tavares. He is one of the most highly paid CEOs in the world, period. And yet again, he is whining, moaning, and whinging on why electric cars are basically going to end his company. Well, if that's not what he's doing, then please, somebody explain to me what he's doing. I don't understand. This guy seems to be afraid of his own shadow, and he thinks that the company can't make a profit selling EVs, not even in 2035. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you. And first, we should give some context here. Carlos Tavares has been complaining and whining about EVs now for a long time. He does it every few weeks, takes a month off, then he goes back to moaning and whining and everything else. In fact, he said about 6 months ago that it costs Stellantis twice as much to make any electric car versus what it costs them to make a gasoline-powered vehicle. So basically they're saying if it costs us $20,000 to make the gasoline car, it's going to cost us $40,000 to make the electric version, which is utterly ridiculous. I mean, how is it that BYD and Tesla can make them and make a profit? And if you're thinking, oh, BYD doesn't make a profit, well, they just increased their profit by 400%, 300, I think it was 370% in the third quarter of this year. Yeah, so Tesla and BYD are clearly doing it. They've worked it out. If Stellantis can't work it out, well, sorry, but they won't exist in the future. It's just that simple. So what exactly is going on here? Why do they keep mining? Why do they keep moaning, whining, and complaining over at Stellantis? Well, according to Carlos, the European Union's 2035 ban on petrol and diesel cars, meaning gasoline-powered cars, will cause social disadvantage due to the high cost of EVs. And basically, Carlos is saying they can't even make an affordable EV in 2035. The Chinese can do it now, but they can't do it in 13 years from now. That's really hard for me to understand. I think it shows a complete lack of awareness from this CEO of what's going on in the battery industry, the advances in lithium-ion battery technology right now. I mean, I think he's completely unaware of what's actually going on right now, as in now, today. I'm not talking like 5 years into the future. I'm talking CATL, Gotion High-Tech. Four of the biggest battery companies in the world released their new lithium-ion phosphate battery technology. All of them say it's not going to cost any more than the old technology. It's 20% more energy dense. It's got structural cell-to-pack technology. This stuff is very affordable, right? Very, very affordable. You can now decrease the size of the battery by 20%. You're going to get the same range. This guy doesn't seem to be aware of this fact. I mean, doesn't seem to be aware of the fact that energy density in batteries is constantly improving. Just watch this channel. You'll see all the new advances in battery technology, which will unquestionably make EVs cheaper than gasoline-powered vehicles in 2035. It's not even a question. The fact that he even is questioning this shows a complete lack of awareness on his part of the EV industry, of technology. It's truly shocking to me that the CEO of a company getting paid $26 million US per year can't even be bothered to research technology in his own industry. Surely he's got some staff that can do this for him and start presenting him this information. Bizarre. The CEO of Stellantis, parent company of Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Citroën, Peugeot, Opel, and Vauxhall, has slammed the European Union's proposed ban on gasoline and diesel-powered cars in 2035. He claims the radical plan will lead to serious social problems due to the lack of affordability of EVs in 2035. I don't know how to take this seriously. It sounds like he and the CEO of Toyota, they're sitting in the same room. They're just listening to each other's thoughts and getting each other worked up. They're telling each other, this is terrible. This is disgraceful. Oh, this is going to be the end of the world as we know it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. This is what they're doing. They're working each other up. They can't be bothered to actually learn the mathematics on this. Clearly, the mathematics show without any question, EVs will be cheaper than gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035, by 2030 even. I mean, 5 years before this is going to happen. Stellantis CEO, Carlos Tavares, in particular, criticized the European Union's 2035 ban on fossil fuel-powered vehicles for not including hybrids. While hybrids and plug-in hybrids are more expensive than petrol and diesel cars or gasoline-powered cars, they, in some cases, can be cheaper than electric vehicles. But will they be in 2030, or even 2035? Well, of course they won't be. You're going to be carrying around two separate powertrains. You're carrying around two sets of motors, at least two. If you want to have a rear motor and a front motor for your electric plug-in hybrid that are electric, then you're going to be carrying around three. But at minimum, you're carrying two motors around. You're carrying around two different forms of propulsion. There's no possible way that as the battery energy density increases in a car, it will make any logical sense to get a gasoline powered vehicle that's also electric. It's just completely illogical. I'm sure it makes sense today for some people, absolutely. But will it in 2035? Hell no. Mr. Tavares told media at this week's Paris Motor Show he believes hybrids allow more new car buyers to access lower emissions vehicles, and he warned an outright ban on gasoline and diesel powered vehicles will lead to social issues. It's essential, Mr. Tavares said, regarding the need for adjustments to the European Union's proposed ban. The dogmatic decision that was taken to ban the sale of thermal vehicles, petrol and diesel vehicles in 2035 has social consequences that are not manageable. If you deny the middle classes access to freedom of movement, you're going to have serious social problems. What we have to offer our European leaders is a transitional solution. Now, Mr. Tavares said mild hybrid engines, petrol or diesel engines assisted by small electric motors can keep cars affordable while reducing CO2 emissions by 50%. Now, I don't currently see any so-called super cheap plug-in hybrids. I don't. They don't exist. You know why? Because there's only one country in the world, well, two. I mean, India is about to make some affordable EVs as well. But there's only one country in the world that makes truly affordable cars, like as in truly inexpensive cars. That's China, right? Right now, really, to be realistic. Do they make affordable plug-in hybrids? They don't, because no one wants them. There's no plug-in hybrids under $10,000 available in the Chinese market. And the ones that there are, guess what? They don't sell. No one wants them. In a separate report by UK publication Autocar, Mr. Tavares claimed the European Union's delayed Euro 7 emissions regulations will force car makers to spend more money on cleaner fossil fuel engines instead of developing cheaper electric cars. This is just complete baloney. From an industry perspective, we don't need EU 7 as it will be drawing resources we should be spending on electrification, Mr. Tavares told Autocar. This guy's just like, what? I mean, EU 7 is going to force him to spend money on gasoline-powered vehicles? That's nonsense. Like, how do you come up with this stuff? Who elected this guy? Surely he's mental. Spending money developing one more step for internal combustion for a 2028 enforcement, it doesn't make sense. Why use scarce resources for something for a short period of time? The industry doesn't need it, and it's counterproductive. Exactly. It doesn't need you to spend billions of dollars developing your gasoline-powered vehicles. It needs you to spend that money to develop electric vehicles. Carlos, listen to yourself. Mr. Tavares believes stricter Euro 7 regulations will lead to car makers pushing their engines beyond what is possible, leading to an increased risk of failure. Euro 7 has been postponed many times already. As we're reaching the limits, you reach physical limits. You shouldn't try to go beyond them, Mr. Tavares told Autocar. You wouldn't dare do it in this world as you would risk compliance. You have to be compliant everywhere, and that pushes you beyond physics. You can't be pushed beyond physics, Carlos. Sorry, mate, doesn't work that way. When you move beyond physics, scrap it. It's counterproductive. It doesn't make sense. That's why it's being postponed. We're ready for electric. Hang on a minute. I thought you said you weren't ready for electric in 2035, but you're ready for electric now. This guy is so confused. He's literally bipolar. Seriously, the thing is, his comments routinely are bipolar. Month by month by month. The guy is completely confused about what Stellantis is doing. On the one hand, they can't make EVs. On the other hand, they're ready for electric. Which is it? I mean, who elected this guy? Come on, this is a joke. This is beyond a joke. This guy's getting paid $26 million a year to sound like a bumbling, rambling fool. He is. He's a complete fool. Stellantis has previously announced it is aiming for electric cars to account for 100% of its European sales by 2030. So they can do it in 2030, but they can't do it in 2035. In the US, Stellantis expects electric cars to account for 50% of its sales by the end of the decade. By 2030, Stellantis says it will launch 75 electric cars across its 15 brands worldwide. 75 different models. That's a lot of different cars. Now, I want you to keep in mind that Stellantis doesn't sell EVs in a lot of countries worldwide. For example, here in Australia, they have no electric cars for sale at all. Stellantis was actually created in 2021 as a merger between the Italian-American Fiat Chrysler automobiles, owners of Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Fiat, Alfa Romeo and Maserati, and France's PSA Group, parent company to Citroën, Peugeot, Opel, and Vauxhall. The EV field, technology, is moving at an insane pace. Like, seriously, this channel, I could make literally 10 times as many videos because there is so much new battery technology, so many new vehicles coming to market. I just don't have the time. It's changing at an insane pace. Prices will come down in a similar way to the decrease in price of plasma and LED TVs. They are so much cheaper now than what they were 15 years ago. The same exact thing is happening with electric cars. Carlos just doesn't seem to know it. And what's most concerning about this is the guy claiming to lead one of the biggest automotive companies in the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But frankly, personally, I think this guy needs to go immediately.